Do we trust Virginia Tech here to win by that kind of spread?
No, Joe, we don't. And if you guys watched our previews on the Wager Talk YouTube channel, you would know that we don't trust Virginia Tech. I said that they'd be one of the maybe 3 worst teams in the ACC this year in a preview that we did before the season, and it looks like that's going to be true. Listen, the key, it's the key to this, but I bet it either way. So I took NC A&T plus 15.5. I took it early this morning. I am comfortable with that, even if for some reason Landon Glassberg does not play. But I think I'm like 95% sure that he's in tonight. And the reason for that, so I was actually down at the game on Saturday at A&T. It's where I got this great top, maybe the greatest logo of all time because it's my initials. I feel like I should have that on cufflinks or something. But, you know, I think Glassberg, he came out and just walked right by me, street clothes. I was like, oh, no, he's out. And I looked. No boot on the ankle. He had rolled his ankle against Buffalo. I find out later that he got suspended for whatever reason. Those are usually one game. When you have a kid that gets kind of like late scratch suspended, they probably broke a team rule. It's usually a one-game type thing. So I think his ankle is fine. He had played on it a couple games after the Buffalo game, and I expect him to be in the lineup here. That is so important because he's so important to their offense. If Glassberg's in, which I expect him to be, I make this more like 11.5. So even if he's out, the 15.5, that's roughly where I would make it with him out. It's very similar to Bryant last night where I knew Earl Timberlake might not play. I bet it anyway, and we still had a good enough number to get it home. But again, Glassberg being in, I think is the difference between NC A&T hanging around and NC A&T having a chance to win this game outright, because he's that good of an individual scorer. And they lost to Jacksonville, who's very possibly a worse team than NC A&T. The other thing I like about A&T this year, last year it was all Glassberg. He had to do everything. This year they bring in guys like Ryan Forrest, Jonathan Lamont, who was on Maryland for a little while, didn't get much playing time. Those guys can score. Forrest has been their leading scorer for most of the season. So there are other threats. They're still poor defensively, but there are other threats on this A&T offense, 3 or 4 really good guards that have really improved this team this year. And again, it comes down to Virginia Tech laying 15. This team can't score. They've lost 3 straight games, they've lost 6 straight games. They haven't scored more than 64 points, Joe, in their last 7 games. They can't put the ball in the basket. And even you look at the 2 games that they actually did score points, Delaware State and USC Upstate, I've got NC A&T rated far above those 2 teams this year. And again, Glassberg just adds the extra element to that offense that they need. This is way too many points either way. I'm willing to say this game is single digits. I wouldn't be surprised if A&T has a chance in this one. I think it's a single-digit game, and I'm taking those points all day. 4% play for me. I took the 15.5, and I would play this at just about any number. I think we've got a great game in Blacksburg tonight.
All right, taking the points here with North Carolina A&T is the way to go. Trig has been crushing it in college hoops, guys. No reason for you not to visit his page over at wagertalk.com. In fact, Trig, we got a great deal right now with a 7-day all-access pass. You can get a couple of extra days right now, 10 days total for $99. What would folks get over at your page at Wager Talk now?
Yeah, listen, guys, great time to use the 10-day on me. Finals week is where Trig typically cooks. The reason is all these teams, like you're going to have shows where people just suddenly became an NC A&T expert because there's only 7 games today. I've been watching this team all year. I was just down at their gym on Saturday. These types of matchups where the team like the Bryant, the Colgate step up, and now they're playing like a team from a power conference. I've typically thrived in these over the years. And then last night I had Bryant and Norfolk State, both winners, and I should have had Colgate too. Mark Zinno and I on the morning wager had made a great case for Colgate, and I stupidly didn't add it to my card. But these are the types of games that I've done extremely well in over the year, and there's a whole bunch of them over the next 10 days. You also have a 5% play for me on Sunday in the NFL. I'm 6-1 in my last 7 5% max bets, and I think I've hit 3 football ones in a row. So that would cover that as well. It's 10 days for the cost of 7. It's a great deal, and you should go take advantage of that.